Coming up next, President Gorbachev's address in which he calls for a new system of international alliances now that the Cold War is over.
This is not 1956.
A few months ago, when you were asked what's the biggest geopolitical threat facing America, you said Russia. Not Al-Qaeda, you said Russia. In the 1980s are now calling to ask for their foreign policy back because, the Cold War has been over for 20 years.
Governor Romney's answer, I thought, was incredibly revealing. He acts like he thinks the Cold War is still on. Russia is still our major adversary.
Vice President Pence, I have a newsflash. The USSR does not exist anymore. It fell back in 1990.
You've all heard it. Any discussion of communism or the possible existence of the communist bloc brings on the same old line that the Cold War is over. If communism died and Russia is no longer a threat, then there is no good reason for NATO. But the threat of Bolshevism still emanates from Moscow. Every single communist country on the planet is strategically aligned behind Moscow. Russia receives drones from Iran, armaments from North Korea, economic aid and strategic defense from China. They are building bases in Nicaragua, sending thousands of tons of grain to Cuba, and posturing with Mexico and every socialist Latin American nation. Building statues of Lenin in occupied Ukrainian territories, re-erecting the statue of the founder of the Cheka, or KGB, in front of the SVR. They routinely call for the old Soviet goal of creating an open Eurasia, from Lisbon to Vladivostok. For the geographical illiterate, that's all the way to Portugal. They took away our enemy and let us believe we won the Cold War. The only thing that died in 1991 was anti-communism.
The Cold War's been over for 20 years.